to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me, and that's what they mean to me. Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me, and that's what they mean to me.
Hey, and welcome to Soaring Prophets and Friends, kind of a brainchild I have. I'm always trying to promote good and teach people how to live their best lives and make positive changes that make the world a better place. And during our Thursday night lives that we do every Thursday night, I've met some great, charismatic, positive role models, mentors, storytellers, musicians, and the list goes on and on and on. And so I came up with this idea that, my whole idea is to promote positive changes. And all of these people have such wonderful voices and such wonderful ideas to share. So I've approached a few of them, and I've convinced them to join me in making this show called Soaring Prophets and Friends, where they can showcase and add and promote a positive voice to the community out there in cyberverse. And it's all about taking the time to listen and enjoy and see what's out in the world that is good and wholesome and wonderful, and how all these people have gone through adversity too, and have changed their lives for the better, and have become mentors for other people who have become strong enough inside themselves, loving themselves enough to share what they've learned in life onto you. And so I've gathered them together, and in this video following, there'll be several of us talking to you and just sharing a positive message. And I hope you enjoy it. And I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts about it. Maybe some things you'd like to see. And I hope you join us Thursday nights, where we meet new people who give us new positive messages, and enjoy Soaring Prophets and Friends.
Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me, and that's what they mean to me.
Good afternoon, Profiteers. Patrick Ahern from Soaring Prophets, as always. I just want to do a little bit of a market recap here. That handsome fellow this morning running all over town telling you about chasing your dreams, I can't have him outdo me here. So I figure I'll do a little bit of a market recap of where the world is, where the economy is, and what the next little while is kind of shaping up to be. So we got a lot of headwinds. And for those of you that don't exactly know what a headwind is, it's like running into the wind for the market right now. So currently where we are, as you can see around me, we got a little bit of snow. That's causing a lot of problems all around the world. So we have oil prices that are now starting to rise again with the inflationary costs that we saw. The war in Ukraine is dragging out longer and longer and longer. We have supply chain issues that are still hitting problematic territories. And we have China, once again, talking about restrictions for COVID. So the market right now is trying to feel where we go from here and what's next. And that makes sense, right? If you have Apple, I'm filming this on an iPhone. If you have Apple that's trying to figure out where they're going to manufacture their next brand, their next batch of iPhones, the 14, they've cut manufacturing in half of what it should be because they're looking at redistributing their manufacturing sectors. They're manufacturing in India. They're talking about manufacturing in Mexico. These are huge problems to a supply chain, right? You guys have all heard about the supply chain issues in general. Automotive has been getting kicked for the last 2 years. All of these things are really now just starting to come to roost. So what does that mean for the market? What does it mean for your dollars and cents in your pocket? Well, we aren't ready to start the uptick into a market in which we can recover. Okay. The reason is that the market is very forward looking. They're trying to predict 3, 6, 9, 12 months in advance ahead of quarterly earnings and expectations. So what does that mean? Where do we go from here? Well, what it means is we've went through a time where inflation has gobbled up and artificially produced margins or profitability in companies. Okay. So as inflation goes up, so if you have an iPhone and it's $1,000 and inflation takes it up 10%, now it's an $1,100 iPhone, right? That makes sense to everybody? Well, the issue becomes now is that you have a situation where it can't do that again, okay? So another 10% from $1,100 is an additional $110. Well, the consumer is starting to tap out. Your average family is not going out and buying the same way that they were a year ago, right? So as we do this, as the consumer starts to slow, companies, and again, let's just use Apple because this is a great example. Companies like Apple start to pull back, okay? They start to see sales drop. Over the last couple years, there has been massive sales drop, but because they were artificially increasing their bottom line through inflation, remember that $1,000 phone now became an $1,100 phone, right? With that 10% inflation. Well, what happens now is that we're starting to see the end of the inflation where you're not seeing that profit margin increase, and you're starting to see the consumer what's called capitulate. And for those of you that have watched my videos for the last 2 years, capitulation is the final phase before massive decline. So customers aren't buying. They're putting their money in their pocket. They're going, hey, we'll just wait because we're not in a rush anymore. In inflation, if you thought that iPhone was going to be $1,100 next year, well, you buy it while it's $1,025, right? You buy it early, which increases inflation. It's a bit of an equation in and of itself. So what happens now is that these companies, again, like Apple, end up in what's called an earnings recession. And what does that mean? It means that sales start to fall. Inflation, they can't artificially bump up their margins through inflation. So their earnings become negative, okay? So the market over the last little while has basically accounted for a lot of this because the interest rates were running up. They're like, money is getting harder and harder and harder to purchase because it's getting more and more expensive. An example of that is if you have $1 million loan at 1% interest, let's say it's $10,000 a month to carry that loan, okay? You're a multinational corporation, you got $1 million loan. Well, let's say if you have a $1 million loan at 7% interest, because that's where we're getting there now, and lines of credit are in excess of that. Well, what does it cost you a month? Does it cost you $7,000? Well, theoretically it could, right? So what that does is that creates a barrier to profitability. So these companies find themselves in situations where it's harder and harder and harder to become profitable just on the cost of their debt, let alone they're not selling the amount of product that they used to sell. Now, put on top of it that inflation is adding up their expenses for labor, for raw materials. Do you see where we're getting here, folks? It becomes a bit of a shit show, and that's where we are right now. So over the next 3 months, we're going to start to see major earnings recessions for these companies, right? Tesla, for instance, is at year lows. Why? Did Tesla stop making nice cars? Did they stop being able to manufacture things. Well, yeah, China, right? This goes back, this all circles back. So Shanghai, where they make their Model 3, their most profitable car, they're talking about shutting down manufacturing again and going back to COVID lockdowns. These are all major issues, and they're major headwinds. So where do we go from here? Obviously, folks, this is something you want to jump in on the charts. You want to get onto your tradingview.com and check out what's going on in the market right now. But this is a time to be making money. This is a time to be putting money away into your trading accounts, not necessarily buying things. And I talk with a lot of people here in Canada where we have TFSAs and RRSPs as far as registered accounts. These are times where you want to be bolstering your TFSA, and if you're in a tax situation, you want to be looking at your RRSPs. Obviously, I'm not your financial planner, right? But these are things where you want to be getting ready for the next movement. We're going to see probably a massive downshift in the stock market over the next 4 months. Massive. Some analysts are saying up to a 90% drop. It's going to be chaos. But the beautiful thing about it is you can make money in the market both going up and going down. And that's something maybe we'll do later this week, and we'll do something about shorting a market and showing you how you can make some money that way. Anyways, folks, thank you again. I appreciate your time. And as always, you'll have to come and check us out on Thursday night for our lives with James. We got a talented musician that's going to be with us this weekend. We're getting some cool people, and it's nice to see. We've had some inspirational stuff. We've had some business stuff. We love that you guys you're joining us for this journey, and we got some really cool stuff coming down the pipe for the next little while for you. As always, folks, thank you again, and we will chat with you real soon. Let's make some money together, folks. Have a good day.
Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me, and that's what they mean to me.
I think every woman should travel solo at least once in her life.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
Because it'll forever remind her of just how capable she is.
Hello friends! I just got off an amazing call with my friend Lynn, and Lynn is currently in Bali, and I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to ask her some questions about how busy it is, how expensive everything is, because obviously Bali is a little bit more expensive than other countries or islands in Asia, just because Bali is this hotspot of digital nomads and everyone wants to be in Bali. And because I was in Tulum beginning of the year, and Tulum is kind of the same hotspot, and Tulum was pretty expensive, and I honestly have to say I wasn't really prepared for that. So I just wanted to make sure to do a little bit of research and just talk to people who live there right now, just to get an idea on how expensive accommodation is, how easy it is to find accommodation, and just where to be and where not to be. Also, what I just found out is that in November the rainy season starts in Bali, which has a couple pros and cons. I mean, obviously rainy season is not the perfect season to be in Bali, just because it's gonna rain. The thing is, when it's raining in Asia, then it's like pouring down for like an hour or two, but then the sun will move in right away after. So the only couple of things, it's definitely rainy. Because it's rainy, there will be more mosquitoes. You have to be a little bit more worried about the dengue fever and all of these things. But on the other side, on the flip side, it will be less busy because it will be off season. That means accommodations will be cheaper. That means, it will be just easier to find accommodation for long term. And all of these things. So I just wanted to update you guys on my Bali research. I also found out about a visa, so you can do like a 1 month tourist visa on arrival, so you don't really have to do anything in advance. It's just when you fly into Bali, you will get this 1 month tourist visa. You can extend that to 2 months. That is the extended tourist visa, and then you can always travel outside of the country and then fly back in to get another month of tourist visa. You can also apply for like a 6 months work visa, she mentioned, which I will look into, but I don't think we will need. Because now I'm thinking, since it's rainy season from November until kind of March in Bali, I was thinking to maybe then go to Thailand after like being in Bali for 1 or 2 months, and then just move on to Thailand, because Thailand, the best time to be is between like December and March. So that's the update of our Bali adventure. I will keep you guys posted, and let me know if you have any questions.
Sometimes there will be no one to go with. No one else is down to do what you want to do. But that is not an excuse to miss out. Just because somebody else doesn't want to see it doesn't mean you don't. So stop waiting. You just gotta go by yourself. There's no time to waste.
Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me.
Hey everyone, my name is Kate and I am the owner and operator of Kate L. Tom's Fit. It's a personal training, fitness, and lifestyle transformation business. The business stems from my own personal journey around weight loss. 6 years ago, I weighed almost 300 pounds and I lost 140, 150 pounds using a non-restrictive and sustainable way of life. Without cutting out food groups, I now work each day to try and change that narrative around diet culture and the fad diet and help people achieve their goals and achieve their dreams using this non-restrictive way of eating that leaves us feeling fueled and really, really good. So I'm here today to tell you and to show you a few different exercises that you can complete and add to your day that don't require any equipment. I actually have a couple of dish towels here behind me that hopefully you can grab if you're gonna try these in your day. Movement is incredibly important. It helps us feel good, feel happy, and it gives us that sense of accomplishment. So a couple of easy ways to add movement to your day. The first one I'm going to show you is a very simple body weight squat. So, a body weight squat. Essentially, you're going to be sitting as if there is a chair behind you, but there's no chair behind you. So you're going to stand with your feet shoulder width apart, holding your hands out in front of you for balance, and you're simply going to sit and come up. And I'll show you from this angle as well. Like there is a chair behind you, you're going to send your bum back and come up. And the idea is to repeat this movement. You can do it 10 times, you can do it 20 times, you can set a timer and repeat it for 40 seconds. That is the body weight squat. If you have dumbbells laying around your house, you can add some weight to those to make them a little bit harder. The next thing I'm going to show you are the high plank shoulder taps. This is a full body movement. So you are going to come down into a high plank position, tucking your bum down nice and low. And the idea around this one is to tap your shoulders, trying to limit any swinging or swaying motions that you may have, but you're just going to tap your shoulders. This one you can easily modify and do from your knees if needed. And again, shoulder taps. Another one you can do for 10, 20 repetitions, or you can set a timer and complete 40 seconds, a minute of these. The last one I'm going to show you are called mountain climber sliders. And this one I'd like you to grab 2 dish towels from your cupboard there, and we are going to use those for the sliding motions. So we're going to put our feet on these dish towels, and you're going to get into that same high plank position that we did for the shoulder taps, but this time instead of using our arms for the movements, we're actually going to use our legs. You're actually dusting the floor when you do this one. And I'll show you from this angle as well. This is a whole body movement with a major core aspect of it. So that high plank position with your feet on those towels, and you're going to bring them in. So 3 easy ways to add some movement to your day. You can set a timer and do a circuit with these movements. You could add in some push-ups, a plank hold. There are so many ways you can add movement to your day with minimal equipment or even a couple dish towels. Thanks.
Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me. And that's what they mean to me.
Hey, welcome back to Soaring Prophets. I wanted to have a musical guest for this Soaring Prophets and Friends. You haven't met the great Katie Bath yet.
I love your scarf.
You
look like you're from the desert.
I know. She is amazing, very funny, and is making fun of me because I stole her scarf.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Does it?
I like color.
Yes.
Color's good.
Yeah.
So
red's not your color.
She is going to be our musical guest for today.
That's me.
That's
Hello.
her, Katie
That's
Bath.
me, Katie Bath.
And she's
Well, I
amazing.
sing.
I really do enjoy her. I did have her
No, he
on
doesn't.
our Instagram. She is very skilled, and I
Not that skilled.
can't wait till you guys
So
hear her.
skilled.
Katie Bath, you haven't been interviewed, but let's do it.
Okay.
When did you start singing?
When I was very young. Very young.
Like, you came out of the womb singing?
No, nope, not when I came out of the womb, because I screamed and cried probably, but I never asked my mom that question. But I grew up listening to my dad and his family and his uncles and my great uncles play music all the time. My dad's family is big musicians and singers, and my mom plays piano, and we've just always been a musical family. So
Nice.
yeah.
And what areas of the world have you played music in?
What areas of the world?
Yeah.
Really?
Like in the States or
Oh no.
Tibet? I don't know.
No. Toronto at the
Yeah.
Hard Rock Cafe back in the
Nice.
day. Delcurry Park.
Yeah.
Many moons ago. A lot of shows at Market Hall and the Red Dog and the Black Horse and Shamong Lodge. A lot of places before I was.
So mostly in Ontario,
Yeah.
not outside of Ontario.
No, I'm not that.
You did some busking outside of Ontario though with the Weber brothers.
No, I never did busking. I watched them.
Oh, you watched them bust.
I went on the road trip.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, now the great Katie Bath. Let's hear her go. Ready, set,
Got it.
go.
Okay.
1 and a 2 and a 3.
Okay, so this song I'm gonna do is called Routine, and it's on my second album. It was written I worked at a group home for many years, and one of the clients there, she had a very rare disease, so I wrote this for her, and it's called Routine. There I sit and wonder at my kitchen table, eating from the same bowl. Am I able as my window is open? I move my hair back from my face. Here comes that same old train that passes my house every day. Every day. Needing something new, something to hold on to while I fly somewhere different.
bath. No, I don't. But I got to
Yes,
pretend
she
for the
does.
people, because
Yes,
the
he
people
does.
out
Not
there,
she, he.
They have to know.
Yes.
That I think that you're good. I don't know. If they don't, then
Yeah.
they won't listen to you. No, the Great Katie Bath. If you're interested in having her play for you somewhere in Ontario, I don't know. You'd have to pay her a lot to get her to go far away, but
Yeah.
somewhere in Ontario. Or if you wanted to play on your album, or maybe you're like,
Harmonies.
hey, I'd really like to
I
harmonize
can
with her,
do
some
backup
band stuff.
vocals.
You can contact her at our soaringprophet@gmail.com, and we will we'll get you there.
Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me. And that's what they mean to me.
Hey, it's Mike Fisher from Finding Fish, and today we are in Cuba and we're heading to Lenny's with my posse of Cubans. Actually, one Mexican, one Spaniard, and one Cuban and a Canadian. We're going to Lenny's. Let's go. So we're in this classic car. What year is it?
What year?
Yeah, see.
1951.
51 Buick?
Chevrolet.
Chevy. Sorry, my mistake. Chevrolet. We're in Cuba, heading down the highway. We're going to Lenny's. And I broke these guys out of jail. They were supposed to be working, but you know what? Work's no fun. You need to have a little bit of playtime. From Memory's crib, It was about a 15-minute drive when we got there, just as the sun was going down. Lenny's is basically, what is Lenny's actually? It's a barbecue place right on the beach, right on the ocean.
I don't know. This is the beach, prohibited beach.
Okay.
No, this is ocean, no? This is ocean.
Gorgeous. Right? It's so amazing. Quiet. Wow. Lenny's is a bar, lobster shack, situated on the edge of the water. Prohibida Playa, on the forbidden beach. Absolutely peaceful and quiet. It's decorated with license plates from all over Ontario and the world. We were quickly seated, took our order, brought us drinks. It's basically sitting on a rock, or probably a massive piece of coral. Literally out in the middle of nowhere. Local musician here, I didn't get his name. He started playing his guitar, it was amazing. While we just watched the sunset. The chart goes on, and even a dog gets a warm piece of paradise in Cuba, and so does a gecko. The sun starts to go down, and dinner comes. Chicken, lobster tail, shrimp, and a piece of fish with rice and vegetables. Oh, that's charcoal chicken. I got the lobster tail with shrimp, and so did Jorge. We drank cervezas and laughed. It was a great time. Lenny's didn't disappoint.
Dinner was fantastic. Totally enjoyed it. Worth everything we paid. Alba, Tita, and Jorge, you probably recognize them. They manage and run resorts here in Keokoko. We all had a great time. Grabbed the night cab. Round trip from Memories Caribe, I believe, is around $35. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Until next time. Hasta luego, amigo. Hasta luego.
Friends to me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me, and that's what they mean to me.
Hello my friends, I know it's been a long time. I've been going through a pretty long art block, but I was finally able to sit my butt on this chair and draw something for you guys. Today we're drawing as many Studio Ghibli characters as we can for a commission piece that I'm doing for my stepdaughter's birthday. Yeah, she loves Studio Ghibli movies, I love Studio Ghibli movies, and you probably love Studio Ghibli movies, so let's start this drawing. But first we need to find some reference pictures. So I just went on good old Pinterest, started a new board, and yeah, once we have some references for our characters, we can grab our pencil and eraser and start the sketch. I'm just gonna draw a bunch of our favorite characters randomly and let's see how this will come out. Pretty out of my comfort zone, but we can do it. As you can see, I'm still looking for references as I draw, and remember to always draw the main shapes and angles before adding any details. And finally, we have our sketch ready. Now it's time to grab our nice fine line ink pens and outline the sketch. I'm using a 005 pen to make thin and delicate lines. And right now we can just outline the main lines, and later we'll add more details with the ink pen again. Once we have the outline ready, it's time for the fun part. Yes, we're finally gonna color it with alcohol markers. I usually like this toned down, less saturated colors. I don't like bright and vivid colors, as you know. So this is what I'm going for here. After we added the main colors, it's time to add some shadows, and I'm just gonna do this by drawing a few more layers of the same colors on top of what we have on paper already. And we can also add some extra details that we're missing with the ink pens to make the drawing even cooler. This is your reminder to not leave your tea next to your drawing for very obvious reasons. I did dry the paper with paper towels right away, and I didn't really bother to turn the camera for you guys to see because it was an emergency, okay? Then I cleaned up my space, and as you can see, there's some minimal damage over here where the ink smudged a little bit. So now we're gonna fix that by painting the background with a darker color. So let's do this. And that's it. We are getting to the end of this video, and I had so much fun doing this drawing. Even though it's totally out of my comfort zone, I am not very good at drawing characters, but this is the best I could come up with. So always remember to not judge yourself and not compare your art to anyone else's, because this is a recipe for disaster. Trust me, I know. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what you want me to draw next. See you next time. Bye!
To me are people who feel like home, who support me unconditionally. They will always have my back. That's my friends to me, and that's what they mean to me.
Was a DJ at 18 years of age. He spent 11 years on the air, finished an online career at CKXL in Calgary. He began selling radio advertising in 1974. I like to add that I was 4 years old because I never get to say I'm young. So this is a nice opportunity for me. Opened his own advertising agency in 1980, specializing in radio and television. Retired after 32 years to live the dream. Wrote 3 books on advertising that works, Leaving a Legacy, and How to Write a Book of Your Own. And Finding Wisdom in the Broccoli, Things I Learned Around the Dinner Table. Now he's launching a podcast called Leaving a Written Legacy. Now, there is so many topics we can pick from that list. Oh my God, you make me feel bad just sitting near you. But what I am interested in, we talk about this a lot on Soaring Prophets, about changing your life at points of impact, when things happen in your life and you have to make that switch. You have to go to something else. And so you had a very successful, it sounds like a successful career as a DJ. What in the world would make you change and go to advertising? Like, I would think that would be a scary leap, especially back then.
Let me explain. When my brother was the one that got me into radio back in 1962. He worked at a radio station in Pointe Claire, Quebec. And I had my first visit at a radio station. I said, this is what I want to do. I want to be a DJ. These guys are great. They get paid to play rock and roll and talk. And I love to talk, and I loved rock and roll. So I decided, yes, this is the route I'm going to go. But the getting into the radio part was kind of a natural, because I wasn't good at anything else. I was never athletic. If I was going out, I never played catch because I always hated that. I'd catch the ball with my teeth and just go through my hands. But I could talk.
Right.
And I thought, this has got to be the dream. So I got into radio. I ended up working at a radio and television station in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, Alberta in 1963, January 1, 1963. What a thrill that was. And it was 45 below zero when I landed in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. That's a long ways up north.
Yeah.
The years I spent on the air, I went to several radio stations, from Lloydminster to Red Deer, Alberta, to Smiths Falls, Ontario. And incidentally, Smiths Falls, CJET, was the radio station. I was hired to do the morning show. And I was a very irresponsible 19-year-old kid. And I would chase girls at night, and I would sleep in every morning.
Yeah.
And I got fired from the morning show in 1964. And here's the fun story about that. Years later, I met Rich Little. I don't know if you remember Rich Little or not, but he was a very funny guy. You remember Rich Little?
Yes.
Guy. Amazing. I met him, interviewed him in Windsor when I worked for CKWW there. And it turned out that Rich Little also worked at CJET in Smiths Falls, and he also got fired. We both did. And he was just the most charming celebrity I've ever met. But here's what happened. In 1974, I was married, I was mortgaged, and I was earning about half of what the lowest paid advertising salesman at the radio station earned.
Wow.
He was making 24 and I was making $12,000. And I had been on the air for 11 years.
Yeah.
So I said, I got to do this. And so they were very kind to me at the radio station. They gave me a chance to keep an on-air gig going. I did a Saturday morning ski show at the radio station.
A ski show?
Ski show, yeah.
Really?
I had free skiing at the big three ski areas. I
Yeah.
love to ski. And of course, living in Calgary, you're not that far from Banff, an hour's drive.
Yeah.
But I decided to get into sales, and I'll tell you what, that was a very big move. I almost quit, went back on the air because it was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. It was brutal.
So Ross, if I can ask a couple questions as we're going through. First of all, thank you for joining us. You've been kind of one of the guests we've been looking forward to for a while. I know we had planned it earlier in the summer, and some things have come up, and I'm so glad you're able to make it. We had an opportunity to chat briefly before we came on here today, and I'm very excited for what we're going to put together this evening. So first of all, thank you. Secondly, question, like when you were on air and you're talking about $12,000 a year salaries, there's not a lot of guys in today's environment where they're getting out of bed for $12,000 a month.
That's right.
Right.
That's
and
right.
to me, here we are. I'm kind of the finance guy, right? James is a little more the touchy feeling. God bless him. That's his gig. And I love it. But,
I still wouldn't get out of bed for that.
That's what I mean, right? So it's one of those things, and we talk about inflation, we talk about costs of houses and that sort of thing. Do you mind if I ask approximately what real estate you were buying for, making $12,000 a year? Like a cost of a house, a cost of a car, those sorts of things. And I know I'm probably dating myself a little bit here when I have these conversations, but I really think it's important for a lot of our audience to understand is that you cannot satiate yourself at today's wage going, I make six figures, I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
You have to be moving constantly. And that's kind of the story and what I love about when James pitched that Ross was going to come on and the progression of what you've done in your career. So you go.
Okay, Patrick, our first home was in Calgary, 80 Haysboro Crescent. I'll never forget it. I love that house. My first house.
Yep.
It was $20,500. And I thought, how am I going to be able to make the mortgage payment?
Right.
Because the mortgage payment was $190 a month. Now, that didn't leave me with a whole lot left over. When you're making $1,000 a month, to take $200 out of it, that's, the $1,000 is before taxes, right? Yeah. Well, after tax money, and of course, we ended up selling it for $33,000 a year later. No, not a year, 2 years later. Moved to Ontario, and suddenly found, oh my God, I didn't make that much money after all, because the comparable house is going to cost $40,000.
Oh, yeah.
But the first house, yes, it was $20,500. I'll never forget it, and we just loved that house. I mean, the pride of ownership was just amazing.
There I sit and wonder at my kitchen table, eating from the same bowl. Am I able as my window is open? I move my hair back from my face. Here comes that same old train that passes my house every day. Every